First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Welcome to WUFT News First at 5. I'm Elizabeth Biro.
And I'm Meghan Porterfield. Thanks for joining us. We begin with developing news in the Ukraine crisis. The battleground now covers more than 2 breakaway regions. Overnight, Russian President Vladimir Putin authorized a broader invasion. NBC's Bree Jackson has the latest from Washington.
President Biden condemning Russia, calling the attack on Ukraine unprovoked and unjustified.
Putin is the aggressor. Putin chose this war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences.
The White House unleashing new sanctions to punish the Kremlin for its actions.
We've now sanctioned Russian banks that together hold around $1 trillion in assets. We're also blocking 4 more major banks. That means every asset they have in America will be frozen.
President Biden convened a meeting with the National Security Council this morning. This after Russian tanks crossed into Ukraine from Belarus and other neighboring countries. Sirens wailing and explosions heard in major cities. Video shows the aftermath of shelling on civilian and military infrastructure. Dozens of Ukrainian soldiers reportedly killed by Russian airstrikes and missile strikes.
Russia has attacked Ukraine. This is a brutal act of war.
Россия остается частью мировой экономики.
Russian President Vladimir Putin claims the attack is intended to protect civilians.
Innumerable missiles and bombs have been.
World leaders are demanding Putin to fully withdraw his troops from Ukraine, also promising harsh sanctions against Russia. During an emergency meeting, members of the United Nations Security Council pleaded for peace. Ukraine's president declaring martial law and claiming Russian forces are trying to seize Chernobyl, the nuclear facility. Major traffic backups as people flee to safety. The U.S. continuing to vow support.
Defend every inch of NATO territory with the full force of American power.
And reassure NATO allies. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
We'll have more reaction later today on Polititalk.
Russia's invasion also brings notable economic impacts, from crashing stocks to rising oil prices. Overnight, U.S. crude futures jumped by 5.24% to trade at nearly $97 a barrel. Natural gas also surged over 5%. The rise in oil is just another hit for U.S. consumers as inflation continues. Worldwide, it's not just energy production at risk, but crops as well. Together, Russia and Ukraine produce over 25% of the world's wheat exports and nearly 20% of corn exports.
It's been another beautiful day here in Gainesville.
Yes, it has, and I'm loving these warmer temperatures, and I hope they continue. Nicole joins us now with your weather update.
Yes, it has been another beautiful day here across North Central Florida. Temperatures sitting well above average here. So I'm going for 85 here in Gainesville, 85 also in Ocala, 85 in the Villages as well. And then off on the First Coast, you can see we're a little bit cooler thanks to that onshore breeze. 76 in St. Augustine, 78 for Palatka, and 77 for Daytona. Now, as we take a look ahead here for your weekend, we'll be cooling down tonight and into tomorrow morning. We do have a chance for some fog when you wake up, but heading into Friday afternoon, things will start to clear up and become much more sunny and calm, and then into Saturday, those conditions will persist on in. But we do have a cold front this weekend, so be aware, and we'll stay tuned for my upcoming forecast to find out what that cold front will do to our conditions.
Authorities say their suspect in the shooting of a Florida sheriff's deputy later died attempting a home invasion. FDLE believes Gregory Ryan Medema shot Taylor County Sheriff's Deputy Troy Anderson during a traffic stop near Perry. Anderson was rushed to a hospital and is now in stable condition. In nearby Dixie County, the next morning, a homeowner shot and killed an intruder who turned out to be Medema. The homeowner was also injured but is expected to be okay.
Alachua County Fire Rescue is improving its training and equipment for infectious patients. Firefighters in the Florida Infectious Disease Transport Network are being trained for new personal protective equipment. The FIDTN drive highly infectious patients to receive care in different regions of the state. New equipment includes encapsulated suits, breathing devices, and touch-free radio communication. The use of PPE keeps first responders from catching infectious diseases. These new updates are funded by the state of Florida, so it's not coming out of residents' pockets. Assistant Chief Michael Cowart says it's important for the county's frontline workers to be prepared.
And sometimes they take patients from all over the southeastern United States. So if they have a patient that meets some of that criteria, then we would need to be able to help transport them back to their hometown. So it's really important for us to be a part of that.
Crews will run a practice transport drill in March. Elizabeth, it feels like every time I turned on the TV this week, I see a different world leader talking about Ukraine.
I know, the world is watching and we're all left with a lot of questions. Coming up on WFT News First at 5, we go in depth on the United States' response to Russia's attack on Ukraine.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome back. Now bringing you the top political headlines in Florida and beyond. This is PolitiTalk. Western leaders are responding to Russia's attack on Ukraine, condemning Russia's military action and promising economic sanctions. In Paris, French President Emmanuel Macron delivered a televised address to the nation and vowed that his country would respond to this act of war without weakness, with calm determination and unity. He said the events of last night mark a turning point in the history of Europe. In London, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson joined world leaders condemning Russia and Vladimir Putin.
Shortly after 4 o'clock this morning, I spoke to President Zelensky of Ukraine to offer the continued support of the UK, because our worst fears have now come true and all our warnings have proved tragically accurate. President Putin of Russia has unleashed war in our European continent. He's attacked a friendly country without any provocation and without any credible excuse. Innumerable missiles and bombs have been raining down on an entirely innocent population. A vast invasion is underway, by land, by sea, and by air.
The Ukrainian ambassador to the U.S. also called on allies to impose sanctions against Russia.
So our partners should immediately enact a package of new sanctions, and we really hope these devastating sanctions will be appropriate for this moment, and Russia will clearly feel that they cannot wage war on an independent sovereign country, because the future of the world order depends on this.
President Biden urged Americans to be patient with sanctions, which can take time to make an impact on Russia. At the state capitol today, 2 bills sparking controversy passed in the Florida House. The first bill is named Individual Freedom and nicknamed the Stop Woke Act by Governor Ron DeSantis. It's designed to ban the teaching of critical race theory in public schools. It outlaws teaching materials that incite feelings of discomfort or guilt based on race, sex, or national origin. The second bill is named Parental Rights in Education and nicknamed by critics as Don't Say Gay. It limits classroom teaching about sexual orientation and gender identity. There would be no discussions allowed for very young grade levels, and anything in middle and high school would have to be age appropriate. The legislation enables parents to sue if they believe school districts defy the law. Following a heated debate, the bill passed in a 69-47 vote. LGBTQ advocacy groups are condemning the bill, saying it could deny kids support from teachers. Advocates say it will shift those discussions to parents and other outside the school setting. The bill now heads to the Florida Senate. That's your political talk for today. For more coverage on the Ukraine crisis, check out the PBS NewsHour coming up at 7.
The qualification period for 3 city commission seats in Newberry ends today. Qualifications opened Monday and closed at noon today. One seat will be a 3-way race between incumbent Monty Farnsworth, Mark Allen, and Walter Boyer. Incumbents Rick Coleman and Mark Clark will retain their seats after qualifying unopposed. Candidates are required to pay a fee and reside in Newberry for at least 6 months. Mayor Jordan Marlowe says the upcoming election is important as the town continues to grow.
I expect to see a robust debate this year and all the candidates about residential growth, about how they see the future of Newberry unfolding, and I look forward to having those conversations.
Residents can vote at the city's municipal building on April 12th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Another day in the 80s, but will it last through the weekend?
I hope so. It was so nice out today. Our campus cam shows a beautiful evening shaping up. Your complete forecast is coming up next.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome back and happy Thursday. We've had warm temperatures dominating our area thanks to some high pressure over in the Gulf. We do have this low pressure system over us though that will be making its way towards our area as we head into tomorrow. But let's take a look from above in our atmosphere. We can see that we do have this ridge forming over the southeast region, bringing in some warmer temperatures into our area. And then as we head into the weekend, you'll see that ridge start to level out as we head into Sunday, but then as we head into Monday, we'll see a trough start to form in, dropping our temperatures. So as we head into Monday, we will see those colder temperatures start to come in with that cold front, but I'll get to that in just a moment. Right now, Campus Cam showing beautiful skies out there, some cumulus clouds, and it's feeling like 84 degrees here in Gainesville. So our temperatures right now are sitting above average in north central Florida. I'm going for 83 in Gainesville, 85 for Ocala, 84 for the Villages, and off on the first coast we are a bit cooler thanks to that onshore breeze. We have sitting at 75 in St. Augustine, 78 in Palatka, 76 in Daytona. Now as we head into the evening, we will see a slight drop off. Will be in the lower 60s by midnight, and then as we head into tomorrow morning, we do have a chance for some fog across north central Florida. So you can see it is covering most of north central Florida from about 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. tomorrow. And then our low temperatures when you wake up tomorrow morning sitting in the upper 50s to lower 60s, 59 in Gainesville, 60 for Ocala, 61 for the Villages. Now our high temperatures rising right back up into the mid 80s. I'm going for 85 across the board here in Alachua County, and then as we head south towards Marion County, slightly warmer, going for 86 in Ocala, 86 for Bellevue, and 88 here in Ocala National Forest. So as we head into the weekend, we do have our next cold front passing through. So let me go ahead and track that out for you here. Friday at 8 a.m. we do have that cold front going through the Florida Panhandle over there, and then as it makes its way towards our area, it's going to be staying dry, so we don't have much chance for precipitation here on Saturday. And then as it passes through, going southward, we do have a change in our wind direction from southwest to northwest. And then as that front kind of stalls over the Orlando area, things will remain clear for your weekend. So our 6-day outlook here, again, we have a second cold front passing through actually on Monday, so we do have a chance of showers then. But then as we head back into the next work week, we are climbing in temperatures to the mid 70s and even near 80s on Wednesday. Back to you.
The Florida Gators are not the only basketball team to have fans storm the court this year.
Yes, we saw that happen with the Hawthorne boys basketball team with their fans rushing in celebration. Now, more about why the Hawthorne fans were so excited after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Jenica Clerveaux. Tonight, Florida women's basketball heads to Nashville for another road test. The 15th ranked Gators are 10-2 in their last 12 games. One loss was to number 1 South Carolina, the other to a ranked LSU team. Vandy enters tonight's matchup on a 6-game losing streak. The game is at 6:30 on the SEC network. The Florida baseball team earned its second straight win to improve to 3-2 on the season. The Gators held off UNF for the 3-1 win at Florida Ballpark last night. In the win, sophomore right-hander Brandon Sproat struck out a career-high 8 batters. Sophomore infielder Colby Halter's 2-run home run also helped edge the Gators over the Ospreys. Florida's offense was limited to just 3 runs last night.
You know, you have to learn to win in different ways, and there's going to be stretches where, you don't hit as well as you want. It's part of the game. I mean, there's going to be stretches where we don't pitch as well as we want. It's part of the game.
O'Sullivan also said the defense has been good in the past couple of games and hopes that can spark more wins. Next for the Gators, they host a 3-game series against Georgia State starting tomorrow. Florida softball remains undefeated after delivering a dominant showcase over UNF last night. The 8-0 shutout over North Florida brings the Gators to 12-0 on the season. Fifth-year pitcher Natalie Lugo threw a 5-game, inning-complete game no-hitter. Freshman outfielder Kendra Fabi got the 1 hit and scored 1, extending her scoring streak to 9 games. Freshman Reagan Walsh provided 5 RBIs for the Gators. Next up, they head to Orlando for the UCF Knights Classic. Heading over to gymnastics, the Gators, who are still undefeated, have a top 3 matchup on the horizon. Florida Gymnastics will be taking the floor tomorrow night when they host number 2 Oklahoma for senior night in the O'Connell Center. The Gators, who are number 3 in the nation, clinched a share of the SEC title after a nail-biting victory over Kentucky last Friday. Head coach Jennie Rollins said that the Gators are excited and prepared for the highly anticipated matchup.
And there's going to be a lot of electricity out on that competition floor. Nothing out of the norm, I'd say, for the Gators. Over the past several years since I've been here, we have been doing home and aways, so nothing too crazy for us, but excited to have them here, and Gators are ready to protect their ground.
This will be the last home meet of the season for the Gators and the seniors. In local high school boys basketball, the Hawthorne Hornets will advance to the state semifinals in Class 1A to take on the Bradford Tornadoes. The game was tight the whole way through, but the Hornets won 40-39 in overtime. Hawthorne played in front of a standing room-only crowd, and their fans rushed to the floor to celebrate. Meanwhile, Bradford defeated Madison County 64-54 to advance. The 2 winners will face each other on March 3rd for the state championship semifinals. That's your local sports news. Now back to the desk.
A University of Florida organization is getting recognition for its impact on the community. The Strong Roots movement was named Charity of the Month by Radiant Credit Union. The recognition came with a $1,000 donation that will be used to jumpstart its next project.
So we have an upcoming garden bed installation at the Duval Learning Academy where we'll be working with Kids Count and Aces in Motion. We're going to be building 2 16 by 5 feet garden beds with different vegetables that will grow well in the spring season.
The organization has impacted 150 kids. It hopes to get the parents involved soon.
BBC World News is next, and the PBS News Hour is coming up at 7.
But your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a good night.